Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to the DataOps event. My name is Jatin Hansoty, and I've been working on Zaloni products and with our customers for 6 years now. I'm very excited to be here talking about governed DataOps. DataOps is a relatively new term. It hit the hype cycle around, 2.5 years ago. And it's hard to define because you will see different descriptions stemming from different vendor and consultant perspectives. But there's a high degree of consensus on the kinds of problems that DataOps solves and consequently the value it brings to the table. So that's where I will focus this talk. Here at Zaloni, our business is enabling data management for customers to get them from data to value. All of this in a manner that is repeatable and scalable. And that is what we see as the value proposition for DataOps, to realize a supply chain for data that's efficient and effective. We've been privileged to work with a variety of enterprise customers, building governed data platforms that are scalable and secure, with an emphasis on use cases, realizing use cases that provide business value quickly. The statistics on failed data projects because of how long they take are well publicized. So time to value and time to insights is a very important metric for us. This slide shows a selection of our customer logos, our partner ecosystem, and some of the recent awards which provide industry validation of our approach to DataOps with the Zaloni Arena platform. Let's start with an overview of the 4 big challenges that we see in data environments. The first and most visible is data complexity and sprawl. Enterprises have a lot of different sources, internal, external, and third-party, have data assets scattered across a variety of business and technology platforms in different formats in various stages of adoption and maturity. And knowledge about the data assets is often siloed across organizational boundaries. Moreover, in the last 10 years, there have been seismic shifts in the digital world, driven by business and technology evolution and just a more connected world. The high rate of change in an enterprise ecosystem will compound the complexity and sprawl in the data landscape. So this is not a problem that's going to go away or become smaller. Next one, inefficient data pipelines. We go into engagements where there have been prior attempts at building quote-unquote data platforms and see a lot of single-use pipelines with purpose-built scripts and code. This works okay for POCs and small platforms, but the lack of reusability, monitoring, and portability makes it hard to scale up when there are hundreds of data flows to be orchestrated and maintained. Inconsistent governance. Now that's an interesting one. Some data initiatives start without an established data governance practice in the enterprise. Others have established policies and procedures, but with organizational and technology changes like cloud migrations, hybrid architectures, a drive for agility, self-service across traditionally siloed teams, new usage often arise that don't quite fit existing governance practices, leading to fragmentation in data governance models, which in turn reduces the overall trustworthiness of the data assets and the data platform. Last, but certainly not the least, is the ability to make refined and curated data sets available to consumers through self-service. Now, this one's a disruptor. Gone are the days of the patient consumer. In today's world, people are biased towards immediate availability of commodities, and the same is true for data assets. So lack of self-service access in a data platform will be an impediment to its adoption. All of these challenges significantly affect time to value for a data initiative. So this next slide, we think of DataOps as a continuous cycle of improvement for the data supply chain, with collaboration as an essential ingredient. So we use this infinity loop representation. A good place to start looking at this are the 2 groups of user personas, the data engineers and data stewards on one side, and the analysts and scientists on that side. The collaborative data catalog in the center is a single pane of glass that connects people, processes, and data. Moving around the loop, There are numerous functions along the data supply chain within the purview of each of these user groups, and all of them contribute to the catalog. Profiling and classification, data quality checks, mastering, entity resolution, lineage, custom metadata like labels, owners, business glossary, all of these augment the catalog. On the right-hand side, data marketplace is the consumer portal for the catalog. Data preparation, enrichment, and annotation activities help enhance the level of domain knowledge for existing assets in the catalog, and also expand the enterprise corpus by adding derived and refined data sets. So hopefully we can see that how such a DataOps, a continuous iterative DataOps practice, blurs the boundaries between traditional producer and consumer roles and bring them closer into a data community. Now, a final note on this slide: establishing and succeeding with a DataOps initiative, and this is true of anything with the something ops initiatives. It requires an iterative approach and an agile mindset across all the organizations, all the stakeholders that are involved in this data platform. The DataOps maturity model. Now, the 4 challenges that we looked at previously probably look familiar to most platform owners, but these are not the only problems, and the extent of each challenge, the perceived value from addressing them, and the investment needed varies for each enterprise. So how do we plan and get started on a DataOps journey? The first step is to assess the current state, start at the beginning. The data assets, the pipelines, what are the producer and consumer groups, consumption methods, how is value being derived for existing business priorities, what are the pain points and perceived opportunities, list opportunities. So we try to look at the current state of data initiatives at a customer and then try to map that into a standardized maturity model like what's shown on the screen. Keep in mind that different organizations within an enterprise may be at different stages of this maturity model. As with other maturity models, this is used as a framework to plan a DataOps roadmap. So it's a tool to help planners. I'm going to go through this diagram quickly to provide an overview of its intent from left to right. The sort of the zeroth stage is unmanaged. In this stage, use cases are being successfully implemented, sure, but in an ad hoc manner. So as a request comes in from consumer teams or LOBs, a project is spun up with discovery, data acquisition, building out data flows and stores that are all built to spec. And then when the next use case comes in, it's rinse and repeat, right? In this kind of environment, there may be some incidental reuse, but there isn't a systemic reuse model for data assets or the processes or the policies to manage data. At this maturity level, scaling out the data engineering and operations is very dependent on people resources. It's people intensive, and transformative changes in the platform will be very hard. Next one over, the first stage in this model is a managed state. In this stage, there's a data discovery process in place for the enterprise and third-party data, maybe a shared view of the technical metadata like a data dictionary. These are the first steps towards managing data sprawl. And there's a clear improvement over the unmanaged state because of common visibility and reduced duplication of assets. The next one over is what we call the operationalized stage. Here, the data processing pipelines are built to be reusable, and the principles of DevOps apply to pipelines. Now, even within the stage, there's a progression in maturity from one end where developers could be implementing the pipelines in code and using sort of traditional DevOps build tools, while on the other end, where data engineers are composing data pipelines in a visual designer from building blocks in a low code, no code manner. So the tooling handles most of the complexity. The automation, regardless of how it's built, the automation and reuse of pipelines can result in significant cost efficiency and scalability. The next stage over, and here's where things start getting really interesting, right? From the kind of work we do every day, is a govern stage. And here the scope of DataOps, you'll see, has expanded beyond the nuts and bolts of data discovery, acquisition, and preparation, and it's extended into the consumption layer, the consumers. This is the stage when we begin to see DataOps affecting the end-to-end supply chain, data supply chain. In this stage, the focus is all about trust, right? With concerns like data quality controls, masking and tokenization for privacy, secure data access, curation by experts or the community. And complementing this trusted data platform is self-service provisioning to make these assets consumable in a frictionless way. In this stage, organizations see significant improvement in the time to insights and really a leveling up of the ROI for data initiatives. The final stage in this maturity model is the augmented stage, where you use advanced technologies like machine learning to make the data management pipeline better. In this stage, the focus is on infusing intelligence into DataOps. For example, automated data classification to identify and surface semantic properties. Like, this is sensitive data, and based on that, drive action. So it can be automatically obfuscated or maybe tagged for additional approval on the provisioning path. Relationships between data sets can be inferred then based on semantic properties or usage patterns. So that's where operational metadata can get analyzed for relationships, right? Something like, I see you have a project to correlate marketing outreach data set with your online shopping activity. So you may be interested in the loyalty data sets from your flagship brands. As a consumer, if I got suggestions like that, I'm thrilled, because now I'm able to leverage these results from a data project from a separate team that I didn't even know that I had to look for, right? The tool provides a guidance based on my current activities. So that's how we get to a frictionless delivery of timely, trusted data through intelligence and software. After that, we're nearing the end of the presentation. Now, this is mainly a recap slide. It depicts the end state after the 4 challenges have been addressed by executing on a DataOps roadmap, right? So the slides we looked at, we started with challenges, we looked at the infinity diagram, the maturity model, and this is coming out on the other side of the maturity model, the other side of the DataOps practice. Streamlined DataOps discipline will result in a unified, efficient, trustworthy, frictionless self-service data platform, which will accelerate the time to insights. Again, coming back to that same golden metric. So as you think about outcomes from DataOps, keep the maturity model in mind. The progression through the different stages will result in increasing levels of value and ROI. So that's the what you get out is what you put in, right? You get what you pay for. Now, so far, I have not talked about the Zaloni product. So here's a 10,000-foot view of how Arena, our data management product, is structured to enable unified DataOps. The core functionality of Arena is represented in 3 key areas: catalog, control, and consume. Catalog is where data is inventoried, wherever it may exist. Augmented metadata, which includes technical, business, and operational attributes. This could come in through human contributors or data pipelines automatically detected. Profiling and classification can add additional perspective, additional metadata to the data sets in the catalog. Control includes the data inspection and actions to apply governance policies such as quality checks to detect and quarantine bad data, privacy policies to sanitize sensitive data. Within the Arena product, there are other data processing actions available within a visual designer, but this slide only shows a few of them related to data governance. The consume section caters to providing consumers with a rich marketplace experience driven through the catalog so that they can find, enrich, and provision data in a self-service manner. Now, what this doesn't show is that all of this is happening within the context of governance zones, role-based access control, projects to support multiple concurrent teams collaborating, dashboards to look at metrics, alerting, reusable pipelines, and other foundational capabilities that are essential for a DataOps platform. And with that, I'd like to conclude. Thank you for attending. To learn more about Arena or sign up for a free trial, please visit our website. Thank you everyone.